Worst Toyota trade ever that I've ever witnessed in my life. Today's story is a story that hopefully you guys can learn from it just as much as I did. So a couple years ago, about a year and a half ago, I had a buddy who purchased a 2002 Tacoma X-Cab, super nice, had a 2-inch lift already. He bought it from a distant friend for $8,000. all right, $8,000, super clean, super in good condition. He bought it and then he just let it sat for a few months. I think he let it sat for over the winter, and I'll try to find some photos of it. If I have any photos, I'll post it up. But I think I did make a video. Yeah, I actually made a video about it. Just go check it out. I made a video of the Tacoma with 70,000 under 80,000 miles. So yeah, that was his Tacoma. So he bought that Tacoma a year and a half ago, bought it for 8 G's, great price. Because right now, if that Tacoma was to be on the market right now, you can get at least, 15K for it. And then he let it sat for over the winter time, didn't drive it, didn't do nothing with it, just bought it for the heck of it, just so that he can have a Tacoma. And that next summer, he calls me and just tells me, hey, I traded for a Land Cruiser. I'm like, what? You traded for a cruiser? And then he shows up in a FJ Cruiser. I'm like, that's not a Land Cruiser, that's an FJ Cruiser. So he traded his Tacoma straight trade for a 2009 FJ Cruiser. Has a little nice lift, some 285s and stuff like that. Has a little bit of body work, but nothing major at all. And same thing, he bought it and he just let it sit in his yard throughout this whole winter. Didn't even drive it this summer at all. And then last week he calls me and he's like, hey man, I'm thinking about trading this FJ Cruiser for this RV. I'm like, dude, don't trade it for an RV. I'm like, send me the link to the RV. He sends me the link to an RV, and it's a 1991 Toyota Warrior Winnebago. I don't know much about these Toyota RV, but I know they are kind of cool. They made it back in the 90s and stuff like that. I don't know too much about them. It did have a 3.0, so I know much about the 3.0. But it was a 91 RV, 3.0, 2-wheel drive with 40,000 miles. All right, he sends me the Facebook Market link, and I take a look at it. I just look at the photos. I'm like, dude, don't trade for it. It's not worth it. And next thing you know, a couple hours later, he's like, yep, I traded it for it. And it's the worst trade I've ever seen in my entire life doing Toyota business. So you guys know me, I build my Toyotas, I fix Toyotas, I buy, sell, and I've done some trade here and there, but I do it for fun though. I do all this for fun. And so I seen most of it. I have a good experience with particular engine, 22RE, 3RZ, 3.0, 3.4, 1FZ, pickup, 4Runners. I've owned a little bit of pickup 4Runners, 2nd gen, 3rd gens, 3rd gen pickups, and Land Cruiser. So I seen it all. I know what's good, what's not so good, and what's worthy and what's super not worthy. So after he made this trade, I'm like, oh my god, the best thing I could do is just congratulations. I was like, all right, nice man. If you wanted an RV, that's cool. If you want an RV, that's totally cool. If you don't care about the value of the trade, because his Cruiser is like 4 times worth more than that RV. So the best thing I can do is like, yeah, great job, man. Like, nice. Now I go over to this place and I check out this RV, and man, it is just a junky RV. It's not super junky, but it's had some water damage already. They put some duct tape on the roof liner. The interior is not the greatest. It smells like cigarette because the owner smoke. The water, the plumbing, the heating, they didn't even have any of that activated. And I told my buddy that, hey, you need to test out the plumbing, test out the faucet, test out the gas and all that stuff. Because when you buy an RV, you got to do that stuff. It's like buying a house. You go into a house, of course, you want to test out all the plumbing, you want to test out the electricity work and stuff like that. So he buys this RV, doesn't know much about it, and he didn't test out any of those, the plumbing, the electrical system. He just took it for a test, drove it, he just traded it. Worst trade ever, guys. So I go and look at it, I'm like, man, this is Like, I didn't say it, but I'm like, man, in my head, like, this is the worst trade I've ever seen. And he's feeling the same way too. Like, for some reason, he wasn't excited. He was not excited about the trade. He like, man, post it up. Hey, post up some photos. Go take it, post up some photos and put it on the market. And I don't know why. So in my head, I'm like, why did you trade it if you didn't want the RV? You know, he traded it and he wasn't happy with it. And literally, like 2 hours after he made that trade, I took some photos and I put the RV back on marketplace. The owner that he traded from, they had it listed for $8,500. So I just went ahead and listed that RV for $8,500, trying to hopefully recoup some money back for him. And he was just super sad, super depressed, like the worst buyer's remorse ever. And I was like, dude, this is such an L, man. This is like the biggest L I ever seen, you know. And I understand if he traded that FJ Cruiser and he wanted an RV to do things like RV life, but he has no intention of doing any of that. He has never done any RV. He doesn't know how to take care of an RV and all that stuff, you know. So there's no intention of owning or doing anything with RV. So like, I don't understand the concept of that. So next thing, you know, we posted up for sale and we have a few hits. Hey, we want to come check it out. A couple people want to come check it out. And then the next following day, for some reason, we're just so lucky. Next following day, the guy that got the FJ Cruiser comes back to his place and says, hey, you know, the FJ Cruiser is making some weird noise from the front end. Don't know what it was. But anyways, so they went to the DMV to go switch the title, and they had an issue with the title system. So there was nothing wrong with the FJ Cruiser. But on the RV, there was an issue getting the title into my buddy's name. Because the RV title, here's what happened with the RV title. The owner, okay, I'm just gonna put it this way. I'm gonna go this way. Owner A, owner B, and my buddy. So the owner B is the guy that's trading it to my buddy, all right? So the title is currently in the owner A, which we don't know who he is. So the owner A signed over the title to owner B, but the owner B never swapped the title over to his name. And he just gave the title to my buddy. You know, he didn't fill anything out yet. You know, he didn't fill out the new owner. So my buddy tries to go put it into his name, but he can't because it shows that the original owner signed it to owner B. Because when you sign the title away, there's a slip for the seller, and the slip has the new owner's information. So currently in the system, even though the title is not swapped over yet, the title says that originally owner A has sold it to owner B, but owner B hasn't swapped the new title yet. You guys get where I'm going? So my buddy already filled out the title in his name, but he can't get it switched over. So that's where they had an issue. So guess what they ended up doing? They ended up just switching the vehicle back. Wow. So my buddy was able to get his FJ Cruiser back, and thankfully the FJ Cruiser, the back of the title hasn't been filled out yet. Like, you know, where you put the new buyer, the owner B, he didn't fill out the information yet. So my buddy can just go and get a duplicate title that says good title, just been duplicate. So here's the crazy thing. They were able to switch it back over, you know, but they were able to switch the trade back over. And my buddy was able to get his FJ Cruiser back. He was so happy. But here's the other thing that we need to learn. Owner B did not have to do that. He did not have to give the FJ Cruiser back. He could have just been like, nope, we made the trade, and he could have just took the FJ Cruiser title, you know, fill the rest of the title, and put it into his name, because the title has been signed off already. The front has been signed off by the seller already. All he had to do was just fill out the back that he's the new buyer and put the title in his name, and he could have been like, I'm out. That's your problem, man. The RV issue is your problem. So how crazy is this? Now, this is really crazy because we have a guy that was nice enough to give the vehicle back because of the title issue. But in a real world, he was legally the new owner at that FJ Cruiser. He had the title signed over. He could have just switched the title to his name, and he don't have to give it back. If I was in his shoe, I would have done that. To be honest, if we were doing a trade, if I went to go do a trade, like if I gave my beat up, rusty pickup truck for a brand new Land Cruiser, FJ Cruiser, and my part was good, or at least the FJ Cruiser, the new title was good, like then I would have just like, hey, that's your problem now. But it is what it is, you know. Thankfully, the owner B was able to switch it back, was nice enough to give it back, because my buddy was like, you know, he does not want that RV no more. He doesn't want to do nothing with the RV. He's trying to sell this RV. Of course, the owner B didn't know about it. So now the owner B has to go find owner A and, you know, chit chat and see what they want to do and get the title switch over. So we have a lot of lessons to learn from this, guys. So we have a lot of lessons. And keep in mind that my buddy messaged me and I told him, do not trade, don't make the trade. It's not worth it. You can sell your FJ Cruiser, buy something better if you want an RV. And he didn't want to listen. So we have some lessons that we need to learn from here. If you have a good buddy or somebody that knows more than you and they give you advice, give you the proper direction, listen to them, follow them. Second, know the value of your vehicles or whatever you're doing. Know the value, because a trade should be something. If you're trading vehicles, both parties should be happy. Like, I understand if one has like 4 times value than the other, as long as both parties are happy, that's cool. But my buddy, he didn't even know what he was doing. He wasn't even super happy. Like, he wasn't happy. I understand if he traded it and he was happy with it, like, you know, this FJ Cruise, the RV was great and he was happy with it, but at the end of the day he wasn't happy. I'm like, then why did you do the trade? So know what you're trading, know the value, and make sure both parties agrees and are happy with what they're trading, etc., etc., you know. Third thing we learn from this, you know, don't jump title. A lot of people always try to jump title. That's what we call it. When you buy, let's say I buy a new vehicle, or let's say I buy a new car or a used car, and the seller signs it over, and I haven't filled out the back where it says buyer, and I try to sell that car and just give that title to somebody else without filling that title first. That's called jumping title. That's what you're doing. You're trying to just hand off that title when you're supposed to change it to your name first and then sign it off to the new guy. Jump title, people do that a lot. If you're buying a vehicle, if you're buying a trailer, a motorcycle, anything, and the seller is trying to jump title, don't do it. Go to the DMV, have him switch it into his name, her name, and then have him or her sign it off to you. Don't jump titles, because you're gonna run into some issue. If you do run into some issue, you could have been screwed like what my buddy did. Like, if that owner didn't care like about the whole transaction, he could have been like, hey, I don't care, that's not my problem anymore. And it would have been just, my buddy would have been left with just a dead title and a crappy vehicle. So listen to somebody that knows what they're doing. Ask somebody that knows what they're doing. Take it to a mechanic if you don't know. Follow their professional advice. Don't jump titles, and be happy with what you're trading. Know the value, guys. When you guys are doing these transactions, it was a super sad day when I found out that he traded it, but thankfully they were able to reverse the transaction, and at least he's happy. I mean, I'm sure the other guys like, I got this RV that I have to deal with. That RV looked, I took photos of the RV, I'll post it up, but that RV looked like it hasn't been used in a long time. The plumbing system wasn't on, there was no water there was no clean water, nothing like that. You couldn't test the bathroom, you couldn't test the hot water, you couldn't test the gas stove, anything like that. All bad, guys, all bad. If you guys are new to RV, do your research. You're not just buying a vehicle, you're buying almost like a house. You know, that RV has plumbing, electrical, heating system, roof system, you know, insulation. There's things in an RV that you need to take a look at before you buy, just like a home inspection, guys. It's not as simple as you think. And then RV, there's maintenance. You know, if you live in Alaska and you only use it during the summertime, you have to winterize your RV. You gotta winterize it. It's not like your car where you can just take out the battery and wait till next spring and put a battery in and start driving. No, RV, you gotta winterize it and all that fun stuff. So just know what you're getting into, guys. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this worst trade Toyota ever, but thankfully it turned out to be a good story or a good happy ending. Let me know what you guys think. Was the trade good or bad, or what's your opinion? If you were the guy that got the FJ, would you have gave it back? Would you have just been like, hey, that's your problem now? Or would you been happy with the RV trade? Or if you were my buddy, what would you do? Let me know in the comment section. I'd like to hear some theories, some suggestions, some open-minded comments. And if you guys got any questions buying or selling Toyotas, trading, before you guys do anything, if you guys need advice, feel free to leave in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to assist you if I can. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.